Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time doing another Halloween film review, and this one is on the 2005 film Hide and Seek. Now, as you know, Hide and Seek is a 2005 psychological horror film that stars the iconic movie star gangster Robert De Niro, as well as Dakota Fanning, in a sort of more psychological horror film. Now, the premise of the film is meant to follow David, played by Robert De Niro, who, after his wife's tragic death, moves himself and his 9-year-old daughter from New York City all the way to a more residential area near the woods. And over time, things seems like it's okay in that, until we see how Emily talks about her imaginary friend Charlie, and of course, we see how David sees that strange things is happening, and of course, over time, it starts to get way more out of control, and there's more parts of the pieces than there is. And of course, there is a little bit of foreshadowing to what there's gonna be. And I would say the film is predictable at times, but it really tries to build up to what really is. And I feel the point of David is that there's more truths about him. And when you've got him and his wife at the start, it's kind of clear that their marriage is in a bit more of a broken position, and it kind of gives you the foreshadowing to what there's gonna be. And I also think the point of Emily is trying to help David see the more truths about Charlie than there actually is. And I kind of feel my over-personal gripe about the film is the fact when you've got Famke Jensen's character, Kathleen, you really don't get much time with her to sort of be a kind of psychiatrist to talk with Emily. And when you kind of got David sort of interacting with the neighbour Stephen and his wife, you can kind of tell they've got their own sets of problems, and we don't really see David trying to help out in his own way, which doesn't really take that time with it. I also kind of feel the film does take time to breathe and tries to build up this kind of like what really Charlie is. And of course there is Easter eggs from one of Emily's dolls, basically to the dolls disappearing, and the sort of persona of what Charlie's meant to be. And of course, there is also other endings that were kind of done. One of the endings was meant to have Emily starting her first day at school with her new life, and there is a drawing that suggests something quite disturbing. But I think, to me, the personal favourite ending I did like was the story Emily's Fate. Of course, this kind of makes more sense, as it kind of shows that Kathleen is taking a bit more precautions and a bit more cautious to make sure Emily doesn't have the same things that Charlie has, and kind of her wanting to make sure she pulls through all right. I think, to me at least, Hide and Seek is an okay film, but it really doesn't add anything new to the drawing board. It kind of has that Symbolism storyline of another persona and something else. So I think this movie deserves a thumbs in the middle. Kind of alright, but kind of okay. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.